to check it out, we are giving it to you live on our live streams. But if you miss anything, you guys can check it out on our website by going to MetsXMFanZone.org. Also, if you're not going to be at the stadium today and you're traveling or you're on the go, you guys can watch New York Met live streams on our website as well by going to MetsXMFanZone.org. We give you live streams. We give you all of our latest podcast shows. We give you all of our latest articles, which is organic, which is through us, and you get everything about the New York Mets in a fan's perspective. I know a lot of people kind of like that, fan experience, but also you guys want that professionalism and give you a little bit of a taste of both. So we are here to give you all the latest articles as well, and plus live streams, and it gives you all the live games 24/7 full access. You not only that, but you get 24/7 of access streams, which gives you every Mets game, no matter where the Mets are being played. If it's on Apple, if it's on Roku, if it's on Amazon, if it's on any other platform, if it's on Pix11 or anywhere else, you can get it live on our website. So you can check it out by going to MetsXMFanZone.org, and by signing up for a membership, it is only $12.99 each and every month to get all of your Mets live streams, all of our latest news, all of our latest podcasts, and more. And plus, you'll be able to get all of our latest episodes. You can download it also, and wherever you get all your Mets podcasts from, you could go and check it out on those platforms as well. So now let's go into today's game card for today's matchup. We got Kodai Senga on the mound for the Mets. We got Antonio Centella on the mound for the Colorado Rockies. So what are we gonna go into this matchup here? What are we gonna see out of this? Now, if you are betting, and if you are going to bet on FanDuel, Fanatics, DraftKings, BetMGM, or Bet360, just so you guys know, everything that I talk about in this live stream today is for educational purposes only. If you are betting and taking some of my predictions and some of my betting tips, of course, it is a risk to you, and everything that I talk about on our live streams is not, if you lose, it's a risk, and we are not held responsible for if there's something that goes wrong with these bets. But I am going to teach everybody on how to bet and how to do it where you're not going to lose out. Plus, the bet naps are looking to bet against you. So I'm going to teach you guys on how to bet on player props, what to look out for, and what to not look out for. So, well, not look out for, but what to look for when you're going on to these apps, because they could trick you. So we want to be able to show you guys all these tips on how to bet on these apps and players to watch out for. So let's ravel into the lineup card. Let's go in, and then we're going to go into the pitchers. But we're going to start with the pitchers first. So going with Kodai Senga, we saw in his last three starts on how good and valuable he is. Now, me analyzing and watching Kodai Senga for many weeks now, I've noticed that Kodai Senga likes to throw the slider as well with the fork. In this matchup against both right-handers on the mound, we got a very high ERA with Colorado. Colorado is well over the fours. So if you are going to watch out in regards to pitching is going to be very impactful in this game here, because we got Kodai Senga that's coming off of a very iffy outing from his last start. He probably has one of the lowest ERAs in all of baseball right now. He's got a 1.45 ERA, and probably one of the best pitchers right now in the National League division. So looking forward to a fork or going into a slider, Kodai Senga is very much favorable into the slider, into the fork pitch, and also going into the fastball. These are three pitches that he's prone to throw against right-handers and attacks them very early in counts. Now, how I would predict this one would be Kodai Senga to go 6+ innings. Normally, Mendoza has been letting these pitchers go a little bit longer in games. So I'm going to go, if Kodai Senga is really pitching good today, I am going to go with Kodai Senga to give me 6+ innings. This is going to be impactful for him because if he can land that fork pitch very nicely in today's game and not throw so much outside of the strike zone and get walks, I think Kodai Senga could be really impactful in this matchup. So him going 6+ innings, I would suggest on a parlay somewhere. Now, let's go with K's. We know on how good he is when it comes to strikeouts because the strikeout ratio for him is at 4 of 6 players, which going through if you're going to go through 3 per inning. So with every 2 innings, he's got 4 strikeouts at average. Now, if you're going to go between 2 innings, there's 6+ batter. There are 6+ batters within possible 2 innings plus, but normally you will go with the lineup within twice within 4 innings. So how am I going to project the strikeout ratio for Kodai Senga in this one? Now, they got it on the apps as well over 8. I'm probably going to stick with the 8. I do believe that these apps got it somewhat right on when it comes to the strikeout ratio for Kodai Senga. So they got it at plus 230. I'm going to stay with the plus 230 for Kodai Senga to be at 8. I do think he's going to get well over 8 strikeouts in today's game if he narrows in on the ghost pitch. The ghost pitch does tend to go a little bit outside of the strike zone at times, which gets a little wild for his batters. But if he could get it down really nicely in today's game, I'm going to suggest Kodai Senga to give me 8+ Ks and going 6+ innings. Now, with Antonio, how am I going to project him for today's game? Now, they got him to go at 3+ innings. I'm going to go with him at 4 innings. I'm not going to go over, not going to go under. I'm just going to stay right at 4. If you are going to do an alternative spread on him, I would go with 3+ innings. 3+ innings. And that is projected to be at 330. It's not a high ratio of putting him in some sort of mixed parlay. But I am going to suggest if you're going to do a player propped on him, I'm going to go with Antonio to be at that 330 mark at 4 innings plus. And then I'm going to go with the Ks on him, and I'm going to go with 6 Ks. I don't think he's going to be over or under. They got it at 4 Ks for him. I do think that he tends to throw too much of the slider at times, which gives a high walk ratio for him. His walk ratio is at 4 within 4 batters at a time. So if you want to kind of group it in 4, he kind of goes at that 4 ratio. So I'm interested in how he's going to play this, if he's going to go more with the fastball, because if he goes with the fastball a little bit more on batters, especially on Met batters, then he could get the Mets chasing right outside the strike zone. So I am honestly going to go with Antonio Santera to get me well over the under 6. So they got it projected at over 6. I'm going to just stay at 6. So now let's go with today's lineup cut. Now, this is presented this is presented by SNY, the lineup card. So if you are going to be watching today's game, it will be on Pix 11. But if you can't get Pix 11, you can get it on MetsXMFanZone.org. And this game will be brought to you by MetsXMFanZone.org. It's where the fans go. So if you would like to check it out on our website at MetsXMFanZone.org, we give you the most live, ultimate Mets fan experience. We give you with all of our latest podcast shows. We give you all of the latest articles where I break it down each and every game to you with player props, with betting, and also insights of pregame and postgame analysis. So if you would like to read all of our latest articles, I write them, and also 3 other members of our team also write some of them as well. And if you guys would like to check that out, you guys could go to MetsXMFanZone.org for all of your latest Met live streams, news feeds, and much, much more. But also, you could get today's game. You can watch it live on our website by going to MetsXMFanZone.org. And if you sign up for a membership, you will get unlimited Met live streams with no pop-ups, no advertisements, no TV providers. All you do is sign up, and you get every Mets game at ease with high definition. You can take it on the go with you. You could bookmark it. You can put it on all your devices, and you can watch them no matter where you are, and it's not restricted in your area, and it's VPN secured live players as well. So you don't ever have to worry about your secured live stream. No one trying to get to it because you don't ever have to worry about that. But now, let's get into today's game card. Now, if you would like to get today's game card, it is on our website. So if you miss anything that you see here in our show today, it will be on our website by going to MetsXMFanZone.org. All you have to do is scroll down to where it shows player props and all of the betting for today's game. But however, everything that I talk about here in the game card as of right now, it is for educational purposes only. Everything that I talk about in regards to betting, it is at your discretion. And plus, anything that you take within our show today is at risk to you. So hopefully we make everybody some money in today's game. Now, let's go with the lineup card for today. We're going to start with the Rockies, and then we'll start with the Mets. And then I'll give you my top three selections of players for each team. So let's go with the lineup card for the Colorado Rockies in this one. We got leading off, and the agent in today's game is Jordan Beck. Batting second and playing shortstop is Ezequiel Tovar. Then we got batting third and catching is Hunter Guzman. Batting fourth and playing third base is Ryan McMahon. Then we got batting fifth and playing second base is Dio Estrada. Then we got batting sixth and playing center field is Brandon Doyle. Then we got batting seventh and playing left field is Sam Hillard. Then we got batting eighth playing first base is Kyle Farmer. And then we got batting ninth and playing right field is Mickey Marquez. And that's the lineup card for the Colorado Rockies. Now, let's go with the New York Mets. Starting lineup, leading off and playing shortstop is Francisco Lindor. Batting second and playing left field is Brandon Nimmo. Then we got batting third, playing right field is Juan Soto. Then we got batting fourth, playing first base is Pete Alonso. Then we got batting fifth and playing first base is batting fifth, playing third base is Brett Baty. Then we got batting sixth and DHing is Jared Young. Then we got batting seventh and playing center field is Tyrone Taylor. Then we got batting eighth and playing second base is Jeff McNeil. And then we got batting ninth and catching and that's going to be Francisco Alvarez. All right, so now let's go into the top 3 players for today's game. Now, again, everything that you'll hear now on here is for educational purposes only. Again, it is my selection of players, but if you are willing to take them, again, it is a risk to you. All right, so let's go for today's matchup. Let's toss that card on the side here. And what are we going to go now? Again, like I said, we did go with some player prop. Well, we went on the pitching stats for Kodai Senga and for Antonio. I would make sure when you bet on those pitchers that you're doing it as a single prop. Go with players. Don't go on mixed parlays on pitchers. I mean, you can go on mixed parlays on the pitching, I mean, if you really want to, make it interesting. But I suggest when you bet on these pitchers, go with singlet. Go with singlets. Don't go with a mixed parlay with them. Now I'm going to start with the right side of the lineup, going with the Colorado Rockies in this one. So we got our top 3 selections in this one. So my top 3 pick is going to go with Jordan Beck. Now, why do I say Jordan Beck? I think Jordan Beck had a pretty decent game yesterday. We saw him get a couple of hits, a couple of runs. What am I going to select for him in today's game? Now, again, this is a player props. This is for on the betting side. So if you are betting on these apps on FanDuel, DraftKings, you can do these on player props. Now, for Jordan Beck, he's at like 330. So if you are going to go on a player props for him, my selection here for this game is for singles. I would go with 2. Why I say that is because he does hit very good against right-handed pitching. Right-handed pitching right now, he's batting at 230. So, I mean, if you are going to go with singles in this matchup, I would go with 2. And again, bet it on player props. Go straight down the line on this one. Then for doubles, I would go with 2 doubles. With RBIs, I will go with 1 single RBI. I don't think he's going to get, he might get a couple of hits. I would go 2 for 4 for him in today's matchup, but I would definitely go on the RBI ratio. And then with stolen bases, I would go with goose egg, 0. He's not a fast runner at all, but he does have a really good bat. But his speed rate is at 11 plus miles per hour. Not super fast, but he is pretty decently. But probably get caught stealing in today's matchup. So I don't see him speeding around the bases. Then we're going to go with my number 2 selection, and that's going to be Brandon Doyle. Again, if you are going to go with player props on this one, this is my selection straight down the board. I'm going to go with Brandon Doyle to give me 2 single hits in today's game. I know a lot of people like to kind of bet on singles because they are a pretty much of a sure kind of bet. Don't go with single. Just go with 2 singles, not 1. Then on the RBIs, he's going to probably be another guy that's going to give an RBI in today's game also. So stick with the RBIs. I would go with Brandon Doyle to give me an RBI in today's game. Expecting to see him go with 280. Right now, he's batting at 220. So if you are going to bet on him to get some sort of hits in today's game, I would go with 2 singles. Then with doubles, I would go with 2 doubles because he can give you, good power from the right side of the plate. And then with RBIs, I would go with 1 RBI for him as well. Now let's go with my number one star, and that's going to be Ryan McMahon. One thing I like about Ryan McMahon is his plate appearance at the plate, even though he hasn't been really shaken out to be really well this year, and he's kind of batting at a little bit of the low twos. Right now he's batting at like 230, 228, but he is kind of one of their top guys in this rotation. So how am I going to kind of see this coming out from the Rockies standpoint? Probably go with two singles. Now, if you are going to bet they have it at a ratio of 2 to 4. He does hit very well against right-handed batters. Again, like I said, around 230, 220. Uh, he has quite a couple of home runs coming from right side of the plate pitching. He does tend to hit home runs going from the opposite field direction. He's probably going to go with one home run today, which is going to put into RBI. So for this one, he would be another guy that would get an extra RBI out of this game. So if you're going to go with RBIs, I kind of would stick with him on one RBI, which would be the home run. Anytime home run, if you're going to go with any player of a home run, Ryan McMahon would be the guy. Possible Beck. I don't see Beck giving the home run, but he can very well also hit a home run in today's game too. So that would kind of, if you're going to go with any sort of players with home runs, those would be the two selective guys. But if you are going to bet in this one, I would stick with it and play it cautiously and go with Ryan McMahon. And he would be my number one pick. But if you're going to go down the row on player props on McMahon, I would go with two singles, one double, one stolen base, one RBI, which the RBI would include with a home run. So it wouldn't be considerably RBI, but it could be just the one. So, and that's kind of where I would go with the Rocky standpoint. Now let's go with your New York Mets starting three. Now, if you are going to bet on the Mets side of things, here is my top three picks for your New York Mets. Now, if we're going to go with any player of home runs in this one, here's my top three guys to look out for. Juan Soto. The second one would be Francisco Lindor. My third one is going to go with Pete Alonso. RBIs in today's game. Lindor would be a possible of one. Lindor would be a possible of three. Soto, a possible of one. And Alonso, possible of one. Walks here would be players for walks in today's game. Would be Francisco Alvarez. Would be Jeff McNeil. Would be Juan Soto and Brandon Nimmo. These are guys that could be possible of walks in today's game. Stolen bases for today's game. I would watch out for Brandon Nimmo. I will watch out for Jeff McNeil, and watch out for Francisco Lindor. Those would be the guys to look out for in regards to stolen bases in this one. So now that's if you want to do a mix parlay, and I would kind of play around with that. But if I'm going to go with my top three picks, probable in this matchup, my number three guy is going to go with Pete Alonso. Pete Alonso has been hitting very well with lefties and righties this year. Right now, he's well over 220. Yesterday's game, he looked all right. He got a couple of hits yesterday. What am I going to see coming out of him in this one? I'm going to see Pete Alonso to give me one RBI in today's game. Could be the possible of a home run. Then I will go with walks in today's game for Pete Alonso. I will go 0. He's not a big walk guy. I mean, he can get on, but once he's on, he's on. Stolen bases, I'm not going to go with stolen bases either. Home runs in today's game, I would go with one home run in today's matchup. And he would be my probable three top in today's game. Now, my number two guy in today's game would be Juan Soto. One thing I'm seeing out of Juan Soto has been starting to get a little bit patient, but he has been starting to swing a little bit. But now he's starting to swing at some really good pitching. So what am I going to see in this matchup coming from Juan Soto is the RBIs. He needs to be an RBI machine. That's what he is known for. He's known for RBIs. Everybody thinks he's known for home runs because he was with the Yankees and he was hitting so many home runs. But he's not a home run hitter. He's not I want to say not a home run hitter. He's not a big home run hitter with bigger fields. So how am I going to project this one in today's game? I'm going to go with Juan Soto to give me one RBI. Today, I would go with one walk for Soto. Stolen bases, I wouldn't go with any stolen bases. I'm not worried about stolen bases out of him. And I would definitely go with one home run, two singles, and two doubles. So if you are going to go with player props for Juan Soto, that's how I would go with it. I would go with RBIs of one, walks, one, stolen bases, goose eggs, home runs. I would go with one home run for him. Then I would go with singles. I would go with two singles for him, which I would just go with the two. Instead of, on how they have it projected on the apps as singles, just go with two singles in today's game. And then with doubles, he's going to give you two doubles in today's matchup. And he is my number two pick for today's matchup. Now, let's go with my number one pick, and that is, of course, Francisco Lindor. Everything that you see out of Francisco Lindor this year has been very positive. Yes, he kind of went into a dry spell a little bit, and now he's starting to pick it up again with the bat. One thing I've noticed coming out from Francisco Lindor, when he's off, he's swinging up. And that's kind of one thing that he does when he's completely off balance. What Lindor needs to do is move in a little bit at the plate, kind of going at that 45-degree angle, and he has been kind of working on that, and you can see that every at bat and every approach has been very different. Last night's game, when he hit the home run, he was in a little bit more at the plate, which he shimmied it quite a little bit to get a little bit in. He moved his front foot in at the diamond. So what I'm seeing out of that, nice transition. Got that home run, launched it really nicely out in the outfield, hit the railing, got that home run. So how am I going to see him in today's game? A little bit more of the approach of yesterday's game, but I feel today might have a little bit better approach at the plate. And especially it might be a little bit on the cooler side here in Citi Field. Right now it's at 68 degrees here at Citi. So the wind chill factor is coming from 8 miles per hour out in the outfield. But I don't think it's going to really cause effect our players in today. I think the wind span is going from the batter's box to center field. So kind of where the wind is going here at Citi. So maybe the Bulls might travel outside of the stadium. So how am I going to determine this one? Now, if you are going to bet on a player prop, this is my selections for Francisco Lindor. Number one would be RBIs. I would go with two. I think Lindor is going to give me a two-run home run in today's game. Going with that factor that he has been on and he's starting to hit the ball a little bit out there. So I'm going to go with Francisco Lindor at one home run, going with two RBIs in that game approach. Walked. I don't see him getting walked in today's game, but I do again see him getting a little bit aggressive at the plate. So I'm going to go with stolen bases for him. If he gets on, he is going to steal in today's matchup. If you're going to go for singles for him, I would go with 2 singles and then go with 2 doubles. Don't go with 1. I don't see 1, but if you want to make it a little bit more, you could go with 1 double. But if you want to make just over 3 times more, I would go with 2 doubles for him. 2 doubles, go with 2 singles, a home run, no walks, definitely 2 RBIs, which will be considerably our top player for today's matchup. Now, that is your players' props for today's game. Now, let's go with hits, runs, over and under, and the final score. So, the hits for today's game, I'm going to go with 21 hits. I think both teams are going to be hitting pretty good, decently today. Probably a 12 plus for both teams. Runs. Now, they have the run game at over 2.50. How am I going to select this one? They got it at 6 plus. I'm going to go with 8. I think in this matchup we're gonna go with 8 runs plus. I'm going over that. So if you're gonna go with an alternative spread, I would go with 8 plus runs in this game. Over and unders again it's at 8. I will go at it's over 8.5, but I'm gonna go with just the 8 on the alternative spread, which will give you the 8 plus. So if you're gonna combine these, this is how I would do it. I would combine it with hits for both teams at 20. Well, both teams at 12 hits. Runs at 8 plus. Go with the over and under. If you're gonna go on just the main screen on the apps, go over and unders. Take the over at 8.5. I wouldn't go so much on the under. I know I say go with the under, but I do think that we're going to change that in this live stream. I would go with the over. So when you go onto the website, it might have it as the under, but we're going to change that as we're live right now. We're going to go with the over at 8.5. So I would select it at 8 for today's matchup. I wouldn't go with the under just because of what I've seen with the lineup so far. Because the lineup has changed. I thought it might go with the other way, but right now, Mark Vientos wasn't in the lineup, so I kind of overread that. I thought Mark Vientos would be in today, but we got Brett Beatty there at third. We got Brett Beatty there at third base for today's matchup. So I would now go with over at 8.5. So I mean, it did really determine on one player, but that's kind of how I would select it for today's matchup. So now let's go with today's score. I'm going to go with the New York Mets to win in this one 5-3. Again, I'm going to see a lot of hit production. I am going to see a lot of with the Mets in this one. But I would go with the over on the, again, like I said, on the overall score for Mets. So if you're going to go with alternative, go with at least 5 plus. So that is my suggestions and predictions and probables for today's game. Now, if you are on the road or you're not here at Citi Field and you want to get today's game, you guys can get our game live on MetsXMFanZone.org. It is your ultimate fan hub for Met live streams, news feeds, and much, much more. And you can check it out for just $12.99 a month because we give you all Met live streams, no matter where they are. You get no advertisements, no TV providers, no pop-ups, and you get high definition. You can take it on the go with you, and you can get every Mets game, no matter where you are, no matter where you're from, with no restrictions, no advertisements, no TV providers, no pop-ups, and no restrictions. So we want to thank you guys for watching here in our live stream today. If you want to learn more and how to get all of our live podcast shows or whatever, if you missed something in this live stream, you guys can check it out on all of your social media platforms or wherever you get your podcast shows, on all of your social media platforms. We go live every day at 8 a.m. and we always go live an hour before game time. But today's game, the New York Mets versus the Colorado Rockies, we got Kodai Senga on the mound for the New York Mets. And for the Colorado Rockies, we got Antonio Satar for the Colorado Rockies. Game goes live at 4:10. And I'm your boy, Anthony Gennaro, right here on the MetsXMFanZone live podcast. I want to thank you guys for watching. It was great to talk with you guys tonight. And we'll see you guys tomorrow back here at 8 a.m. And we're going to give you guys a recap of today's game and give you and talk all Mets news, take all of your Q&As, and then we go live tomorrow an hour before game time when the New York Mets play against the Colorado Rockies. This is a 4-game series, and we will catch you back here tomorrow on the MetsXMFanZone live podcast at 8 a.m. We'll see you guys real soon. Be safe, be well, and let's go Mets.